A hot afternoon, bright sunlight seemed to burn the entire space around the city center. The road shone brightly. Heat radiates from the ground. The outside of HG Group's building is lively. People come and go. Victoria Hart is a well-known enterprise. Powerful female chairman. She is wearing an elegant beige office dress and slender high heels. The image is impressive, emanating unprecedented pride and confidence. His face had sharp, well-defined features, emitting strength and determination. But a hint of fatigue couldn't be concealed in his eyes. Fleeting glance, seemingly refracted. A nervousness after a long and endless meeting. Walking out of the building, a shiny black luxury car is waiting for him. Like a companion ready to take him anywhere. The assistant walked over to him, holding a thick stack of documents. Said respectfully to the lady, "The driver has already prepared. We can go home." Victoria Hart just nodded slightly. Her gaze accidentally stopped on the water bottle placed beside her. Her favorite water bottle. The hot weather made her throat feel like it was on fire. Thirst made her unable to control her thirst. He reached out and picked up the familiar water bottle, tightened the bottle cap, ready to take a sip to quench thirst. However, just as he was about to put the water bottle to his lips, a terrified scream came from a distance, as if it were a warning to save your life. Don't drink alcohol. Don't drink that water. The scream was too loud. Scared that everyone around turned around one after another. A gaunt boy, holding an old shoe polishing tool and dirty clothes, full speed north and south. Victoria Hart ran, her plastic sandals, and tripped on the uneven sidewalk. Nearly fell down. Yet her gaze remained resolute, filled with worry and determination, making Victoria Hart suddenly stop. Frowning at the boy, the assistant and the driver are standing still, eyes widened in surprise, watching the sudden appearance. The assistant looks furious. Speak immediately and want to drive the boy away. Buddy, this place isn't a place for shining shoes. Go somewhere else. Don't bother the shoeshine boy anymore. Arden is panting heavily, lips trembling, but his eyes were unwavering. He ignored the assistant's words. Continuing to approach, he shouted with a trembling but firm voice, "Don't drink that bottle of water. I heard he put poison in that water bottle. To harm you." A strange silence enveloped the entire area. All eyes turned to the boy, half doubt, half curiosity, seemingly waiting for an explanation. Madame Han stood still. Her eyes were full of confusion. A sense of insecurity flashed through her mind, but she did not show it. She looked directly at the boy with a low and authoritative voice. "What are you saying, boy? Who wants to harm me?" Dega struggled to swallow his saliva. Lips trembled with worry, but the eyes remained steady. He continued to say. Every word seemed to pour out from the bottom of the heart, without any hesitation. Only fierce determination. Ethan sat there, face tight, eyes wide open, flashing with fear and determination. The boy recounted exactly what he had done in the coffee shop. The story heard from a man's hint. He didn't even dare to believe what he had just heard. But the facts cannot be covered up. He said he would poison this bottle of wine for you. You won't be able to live like this, Ethan said in a low voice. His voice was a bit trembling, still seemed not to have come back from hearing the sentence. Madame Han sat opposite. No change in expression. Sharp eyes looking at the light. Seemed to guess everything from his eyes. His next question was gentle yet stern. Who is he? Lowered his head, clenched his fists, pressing his lips together. She said nothing. After a while, he then spoke. His voice was hoarse, as if this admission is a huge shock to himself. It is also him, your husband. This sentence is like a huge wave, striking Victoria Hart's ears, making her stunned for a moment. The assistant beside her immediately interrupted her, with a firm and indignant voice. What are you saying? What kind of person is Lady Han after all? How could you do such a thing? Do you know what you were saying? Dong raised his head, opened his eyes wide, filled with fear, but also filled with determination. I have not lied. Yesterday, when I was shining shoes at the coffee shop across the street, I heard him very clearly. He said he had to make him disappear. All property is now his. I am scared. But I can't let you get hurt. Madame Han did not respond immediately. His gaze was thoughtful, stopped on the water bottle just pointed to by the traffic light. The boy's words, though unverified, are still enough in his heart to plant an indelible doubt. The assistant looked at him. The voice softened a bit. Dad, this sounds a bit unbelievable. But do we need to check? Lady Han sighed softly. His gaze became sharp and resolute. He commanded firmly, "Save this bottle of water. Check immediately. Send people to protect this kid." Ethan, suddenly worried, trembling hands, said in a pleading voice, "Grandma, I'm not asking for money. I just want to save you. Please believe me." Madame Han looked at the boy's eyes. The lips slightly curved upwards. It wasn't a smile. It is a kind of indescribable confusion. He turned to the assistant. He gave a brief order, saying, "You may go." The boy stood there, watching Victoria Hart get into the luxury car. A trace of fatigue in his eyes quickly passed, but it couldn't hide a hint of worry. The door closed. The sound echoes in the quiet space of the morning, on the crowded and bustling street. Huizong Group headquarters. The powerful female chairman Victoria Hart, sitting quietly at the office. The light from the large window shining through illuminated her, creating an image of a woman who is both powerful and extremely calm. Victoria Hart is not only a success in business, but also in the hearts of those who respect her. She is a symbol of success. What is admirable is not only his leadership ability, the journey he overcame difficulties to achieve today's success. He was not always like this, living in glory. He grew up in an ordinary family, faced countless challenges since childhood. It is these difficulties that has tempered her into a resilient woman, with an unwavering will. However, beneath his tough and resilient exterior at work, he still maintained absolute confidence in his husband Julian Hart. He had always been by his side and encouraged him on his entrepreneurial journey. Mr. Feng is not only his life partner, but also the strong spiritual pillar in his eyes. However, life is not as simple as he imagined. Before that, Mr. Feng is a famous businessman, but due to a series of business failures, he lost confidence in his career and fertility. Huge financial impact. He no longer maintains patience and self-esteem, replaced by it is intense jealousy of his wife's outstanding success. He not only did not feel proud of his achievements, but instead began to harbor deep dissatisfaction and ambition. Wants to seize all assets created by Victoria Hart. Julian Hart constantly seeks opportunities to eliminate Victoria Hart, not only out of hatred, but also because of his ambition to take over the company. Meanwhile, the shoeshine orphan Ethan, only 13 years old, was struggling daily on the street, earning every penny to make a living, though he was thin and gaunt. Sun and rain. But Ethan's eyes remained keen and sharp. Hard life. It did not make him lose a kind heart, even if he starved himself. He was always happy to help those around him. One night, before an important meeting, he waited at a luxurious coffee shop, wiping shoes at a familiar sidewalk corner, overheard by accident. Julian Hart. A suspicious conversation between him and a stranger. The conversation took place in a hidden corner of the coffee shop. Mr. Feng's low and cold voice. Is the substance strong enough? What does it taste like? Isn't it? I need everything to be perfect, without a trace, not a hint of anything. As long as you drink, everything will be resolved. After that, you just need to legitimize the inheritance. Ethan. Continue rubbing shoes in a hidden corner nearby. Every word and sentence is heard clearly. What is it that is being poured? But when hearing this sentence, he put the poison in the water bottle. His heart was beating anxiously. He quietly memorized every detail in his mind. He couldn't sleep all night. Focused on the warning image of Julian Hart's face, Fong appeared in front of the AJC building. Go to pick up that woman. She is probably his wife. Although I don't know who Madame Hai is. But he realized, if he doesn't take action, this conspiracy might take a life. The next morning, Dang decided to take action. Julian Hart personally carried the prepared water bottle. He walked into Madame Han's meeting room. He quietly placed the water bottle on the table, right where Madame Han usually sat. This is his favorite drink. Julian Hart believes he will have no doubt. Mr. Fong has a cold and confident gaze. He doesn't know his plan, about to be disrupted by a poor shoe-shining boy. The warning bell rang at the entrance of the building. Not only saved Madame Han's life, but also plunged Julian Hart into suspicion. The sudden appearance of a boy, like a flickering light in the darkness, igniting the light of hope for justice, opening the door to the truth. The test results on the cold paper were filled with a cruel and clear writing. It clearly stated that the tea contained toxins. His hands trembled slightly, but his eyes remained calm. It seems as if he has already grown accustomed to the turbulent waves of life. Countless questions keep swirling in his mind. Who would want to harm him? Why would he do such a thing? And who got this bottle of water? And without his knowledge, who was secretly poisoned? Who is it then? When he received the warning, he decided to keep the water bottle to check, because he believed that even the smallest details could reveal the truth. Originally suspected to be Ethan's assistant, now quietly standing beside him, pale face, as if just escaped from a nightmare. Madam, I don't dare believe such a thing could happen, the assistant said. The voice was filled with guilt and fear. Victoria Hart did not respond, just gave a cold command. Contact the building security immediately. Keep the test results and this bottle of water as evidence. At the same time, help me check the entire surveillance system in the building. Despite a bad feeling rising in my heart, he still hopes it's all just a misunderstanding. However, when the security personnel confirmed that the bottle indeed contained poison, Victoria Hart still maintained a calm expression, just like someone who has experienced countless market fluctuations. But deep down, he felt everything was collapsing beneath his feet. This was not an accidental accident, but a carefully planned conspiracy. The goal is to get him. But who is behind this conspiracy? Is it a business rival? An unsatisfied person within the company? He is still absolutely trusted by his husband. He calmed down for a moment. He decided to call Ethan to the office to clarify the matter. Ethan was brought in by the security personnel. Slim build. The eyes were bright, but they flashed with anxiety and fear. Sit down. Don't be afraid. I just want to hear you tell me what you know, Victoria Hart said gently, but her eyes are like a sharp blade, not missing any action. Just understand facial expressions. Understands and bows his head. His voice was a bit trembling, because I heard him talking to a man in a coffee shop. They talked about bottled water. Oh, who are you talking about? Mrs. Han asked. Although he already felt the pain in his heart, it began to rise, like a deep wound. I don't know his name, but I see him here often to pick you up. So I guess it's your husband. I heard him say to the other person. Don't worry, my wife trusts me. After today, all assets will belong to us. Madame Han sat motionless. Her heart seemed torn apart by Deng's words. Her heart felt as if it had been pierced by a knife. Simply couldn't believe what she had just heard. On the days when she was most difficult, the husband who had always been by her side, the image of Julian Hart, suddenly appeared in her mind. She was unwilling to believe. But Dong's words were so clear. It is undeniable. Ding continued to say. And he said, to ensure the water bottle is placed in the correct position on the table. This way, no one will suspect. I am scared. But besides running here to warn you, I don't know what else I can do. Han Hong looked at the boy. His eyes were red, yet not a single tear fell. He held Ethan's frail hand. The warmth of his touch made him choke up, but his voice remained calm, full of gratitude. You saved my life. If I hadn't taken my grandson, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here now. He didn't just say thanks, but deep gratitude, thankful for a small hand that helped him out of danger. Victoria Hart asked the security team to replay, filming a small room photography system. He sits quietly, focusing on every frame in the video, every angle. Video. Show that morning. Several hours before the meeting starts, Mr. Feng appears in the building. He is wearing an elegant vest, revealing a familiar smile. He walked in as usual when visiting his wife. But then, a close-up shot revealed a suspicious action. He secretly placed a bottle of water on the conference table where Victoria Hart was sitting. Then he quickly left the room. From start to finish, he showed no signs of haste or nervousness. Every action is done gently and calmly, as if he is very familiar with it. And such a conspiracy. He has also carried it out before. Victoria Hart felt a suffocating sensation in her throat. The man she had once trusted, completely cherished, who had been by her side for many years, was actually the mastermind behind it all. Wants to harm him. As if a lightning bolt struck his heart, shattered his long-held beliefs. After the investigation is over, he returned to the office. It was pitch dark in the office. It was a complete silence. He sat quietly in front of the desk. A family photo neatly placed in one corner of the office desk. His eyes dimmed. In the photo, he and Julian Hart are holding hands, smiling happily. Behind is a cozy villa. Two people once made a home here. A place that has witnessed many sweet memories. But now, those memories are just a performance. A hidden evil intention. And a mask of bottomless greed. Victoria Hart clenched her hands. A firm flame ignited in her heart. His eyes shone with unwavering determination. No, I won't let myself fall. The truth must be revealed. He immediately called the security team, assigned them to continue the investigation. Julian Hart. All transactions and actions over the past period. He also began to plan. Confront the man who betrayed his trust directly. He knows this confrontation is not easy. The storm in Victoria Hart's heart is now waiting to break out, a storm full of anger and determination. Grand and luxurious space in the villa. Crystal light emitted by the crystal chandelier, reflected on the conference table, illuminating every corner of the room. Victoria Hart is here. Had carefully prepared for the family meeting. The atmosphere in the room was tense and heavy, although this meeting was announced as an intimate gathering. But Victoria Hart sat at the head of the table. His expression was calm, but his gaze was sharp and powerful. All the family was present, including Mr. Feng sitting opposite him. Expression calm, as if nothing had changed. He still looks confident. There are still some concerns. You organized this meeting so suddenly. Is there something important? Madame Han's lips curled slightly. A cold smile flashed. Her voice sounded very calm, but every word she said was like a sharp knife. Yes, I have something very important to say. Announcing to everyone. When the head of the family settled down, he stood up. His gaze swept over every person in the room. Then it stopped on Mr. Feng's face. His gaze never left her. And her next voice made the atmosphere in the room even more tense. The water bottle was poisoned during the meeting a few days ago. The test results and investigation confirmed this. A wave of commotion swept through the room. Surprised looks were fixed on Victoria Hart, then turned to Mr. Feng. Impossible to believe what was just revealed. The atmosphere in the room became heavy, as if everything around suddenly collapsed. Mr. Fong frowned slightly, looking a bit confused, but trying to stay calm. Is it just because of a little misunderstanding? Can one accept such a serious thing? He was puzzled in his heart. Yet he couldn't show his feelings. Are you really sure? Who can achieve this? He spoke. His voice was a bit hoarse. Lady Han sat quietly for a moment. Then she smiled faintly. Lips lifted sharply. I also want to know. But the security team helped me find the answer. He understood everything. He signaled to the staff in the room. The large screen at the back of the room immediately turned on, showing the footage from the surveillance cameras. Every detail, every tiny action is clear and sharp. Julian Hart enters the meeting room, holding a bottle of water in his hand, placed on the table at Victoria Hart's position, then quickly turned and left. This scene excited everyone in the room. The entire space was instantly filled with whispers. A close relative couldn't help but exclaim, "Mr. Fong. Impossible. How could this be?" The entire room seemed to freeze. Every pair of eyes focused on Mr. Fong. Mr. Feng's face was ashen, but he still made a great effort to keep his expression calm. His voice could not help but tremble. This was just a misunderstanding. I just brought a bottle of water to help you. How can you doubt me like this? So Victoria Hart's expression showed no change, but her voice became sharp as a knife. The other party shivered from the cold. Misunderstanding. Phone? Are you sure? Or have you already gotten used to deceiving others like this? He didn't stop. Signaled to the staff again. This time, another video was played. Yesterday, images from a security camera at a cafe. Sounds around the shop. Mr. Feng's voice came clearly. Don't worry, my wife trusts me. After today, all assets are ours now. The entire room seemed to be stuck in a stalemate. No one was talking. The atmosphere was tense and heavy. All eyes are focused on Mr. Fong, as if he stands before an impenetrable and inescapable wall. Mr. Fong begins to sweat, his hands gripping the edge of the table. Try to stay calm. Oh, that's not my voice. It's a conspiracy. Made up. He tried to defend himself, but the disbelieving looks of the crowd made him realize no one believed his explanation anymore. Lady Han stood up. Cold eyes. His voice was cold and serious. Is there anything else you want to say? I have trusted you for many years. I have always been by your side. When you fail, when you need me the most. But you repay me, just for this betrayal. Mr. Fong was silent, speechless. The entire room was silent. The air seemed to become heavier. A family member suddenly stood up, glaring angrily, pointing at Mr. Fong. What have you done? How can you betray your family like this? You are no longer the person we once believed you to be. The others in the room can only sigh, unable to believe the truth that is gradually coming to light. A man who was once considered the pillar of the family. It's incredible that such a cruel thing was done. No one had any doubt about his actions. At this point, Mr. Fong knew there was no way back. All the lies were exposed. Suddenly, he lowered his head to the table. The voice was lost and trembling. Yes, I did it that way. But I didn't really mean to harm him. I just wanted. Madame Han coldly interrupted him, voice like a knife. What do you think? Do you think I will never know? Or do you think after I die, you can inherit everything I own? Built with sweat and sweat. It was when the air became thick. The door of the room suddenly opened. 3 police officers walked in. One of them stepped forward, stern and unquestionable. Mr. Fong, we have received the report and have sufficient evidence of murder. Please follow us home to work. Mr. Fong was in a panic. He stood up, his trembling hands, trying to grasp Madame Han's last patience. Han, you can't treat me like this. I was wrong. Really. I'm sorry, but you can't turn me over to the police. Her voice sounded pleading and desperate. But Madame Han remained silent. She stood up straight. Her cold gaze remained unmoved by her husband's plea. The sound of the police cuffing Mr. Feng. Calm and cold voice rang out. He was taken out of the villa silently and unnoticed, as if every step he took was extending the pain in everyone's hearts. When the door closed with a heavy sound, Victoria Hart slowly sat down in the nearby chair. A hint of fatigue flashed in her eyes. But this was not enough to hide the determination in her heart. A close relative asked gently, "Teacher Han, are you okay?" Lady Han lifted her head, smiling, though faintly, but still firm. "I'm fine. This is what I must do. No one has the right to betray trust, especially the trust from those I love most." Although his heart aches, but he knows this decision is necessary, not only for self-protection, but also out of respect for the values he has always cherished. It is a battle he must face alone. This is a fight he must face alone. But he does not feel lonely. Every day, he starts taking care of himself. Spend time on meaningful things. Continue working at the company. Work is still an important part of his life, but now he is not only concerned with profit, but also focused on expanding the community support program to help those unfortunate people. He always tells his employees, life is not always smooth sailing. But the important thing is, we know how to get up every time we fall. These words are like heartwarming, encouraging words. Remind them as long as they don't give up. All challenges can be overcome. In their free time, Victoria Hart is also actively involved in charitable activities, especially for helping orphans and poor families. Every time seeing the smile of those who have been helped, his heart is relieved, as if past losses have been. Behaviors of love and sharing have passed through, partially compensated. The boy Dang, who saved his life in danger, gradually became part of Ms. Han's life. Strong spiritual anchor. He decided to adopt him, not only out of deep gratitude, but also because he saw perseverance and a yearning for growth in Dang. Just like his past self, under his careful care, Ethan's life was completely transformed. He got admitted to a prestigious university. He could only look from afar before, dreaming. At first, when waiting to integrate into a new environment, encountered many difficulties. To a great extent, it is because the previous difficult environment led to low self-esteem. But with Victoria Hart's continuous encouragement, he gradually overcame himself. Yang began to have more confidence, face the challenges of study and life with a tenacious spirit. He always remembered his teachings. You don't have to be a great person, but you must be a kind person. He is the compass of his life, the light that illuminates every step. Dang studies hard, always enthusiastic about participating in social activities, always knows how to cherish what he has. Whenever he receives praise from teachers or friends, he will always remember Victoria Hart, who helped him change his life. I didn't have a mother since I was a child, but now I have a mother, Ethan said, eyes shining, filled with love and gratitude. For Dang, Victoria Hart is not just a person. Mother is also a teacher. Teach her how to live, how to love, how to face difficulties in life. Return to the quiet villa every afternoon. Victoria Hart often sees Dang sitting in the reading room, focusing on studying. Warm light filled the room. Seeing the boy sitting there, focused gaze full of hope, makes him feel that everything he has sacrificed is worthwhile. Madame Han never mentions the past pain, but at the moment of talking with the light, he always reminds her of you. Life will not lack difficult moments, but you must always remember, as long as you don't give up, but always remember, honesty and kindness will guide you through all difficulties. Understanding listened, eyes also sparkling with confidence and hope. He promised her she would live well, not only to repay him for everything he gave her, but also to become his pride, a person full of love and integrity. As time goes by, Ms. Han Dong became each other's strong spiritual To him, every day is an opportunity. It is possible to find joy in caring and educating this. He considers the boy among those he believes to be his own son. To find joy. For Dong, he clearly felt the infinite love and warmth from the foster mother he had always respected. They rebuilt a new life together, no longer troubled by the darkness of the past. He was no longer haunted by the darkness of the past, but it was filled with peaceful days, full of hope for the future. After experiencing many painful things, Victoria Hart finally appeared under the light, regained confidence in life. Every day passes. Both will learn and heal past wounds together. They not only created a home, but also found the freedom to be themselves. No longer need to be cautious or afraid of anything. Every morning, in the small garden behind the villa, there will be echoes of laughter and joy. Chinese lady, Chinese Denmark lady often chat there, work together. Whenever he tells her, the lamp is always smiling innocently, eyes shining brightly. I don't just want to be successful. I want to be like you. To live for helping others, loving others. Gentle words softened Mrs. Han's heart. Her wounds were also gradually soothed by his sincere feelings. He smiled, seeing the values he taught, that absorbed and practiced every day, created a bright future for themselves and those around them. He felt proud. Also, Victoria Hart also gradually changed her own way of life. Style. She is no longer immersed in work or chasing material goals. She starts spending time on life, on more meaningful things. She takes care of herself and her family, participate in community activities. Victoria Hart always tells Dang not to. Money and power are just fleeting things. What's most important is sincerity and love. Only in this way, life has value. The story of Victoria Hart and Ms. Dang conveys a profound humanitarian message. Courage and honesty always get rewarded. It is these qualities that completely changed Dang's life. He was once a wandering youth. Now he has become a beloved, a respected man. Victoria Hart realized the most valuable thing in life is not material, success, or fame, but sincere concern. People love and respect each other. A sunny afternoon. Victoria Hart and Ms. Deng together, planting trees in the small garden behind the villa. In the golden warm sunlight, the lush seedlings are being carefully tended. Mrs. Han stands beside him, gently stroking Deng's hair, eyes full of love and pride. Every tree is like our life. As long as we take care of it with heart, it will grow vigorously, bringing shade to those around us. Dong Xiao nodded in agreement. Sunlight passed through the leaves, create a tranquil scene, symbolizes a new beginning. Everything is filled with love and hope. Thank you. Watching Victoria Hart and Xiaoyang's emotions and changes. This story reminds us, in life, honesty and kindness always help us overcome all challenges, key factors in establishing a meaningful life.